Now we've got somebody who's positive. So that is not a normal test. A normal test is to be at least 70 degrees. Normal is to get a pain down the posterior thigh. That's normal at 70 degrees. Michael Shacklock's research. Now, Saloni is nowhere near that. She would be 45 degrees. Would you agree? Okay. Now, that could be, where do you feel it firstly? In the thigh? Because it could be muscular, couldn't it? It could be hamstrings, or it could be neural. Do you agree?
Yes.
You can't say from this it's neural. It may not be. So how do I know? Well, we know hamstrings run from the ischial tuberosity to the back of the posterior tibia. So dorsiflexing the foot, unfortunately, also will cause pulling on gastrocnemius. It's not so sensitive. But what is sensitive is to AD duct or AB duct. AD duct will increase or decrease the neural tension? Increase, and this will decrease. So what you're going to do is go to that point of first onset of pain. So tell me when. Okay, and now I'm going to go into adduction.
Adduction.
Does that change it?
Increase.
For worse or better? Worse.
Increase the
And
pain.
coming out this way?
Abduction decrease
Okay,
the pain.
so Saloni is definitely positive for neurodynamics. Does that make sense? Now, if I was going to treat this to improve this, if she came in with posterior thigh pain and I identified that this was a problem, now, as I said to you, the great thing about neurodynamics is I could do so many things to mobilise it, depending on how irritable, how stirred up the problem is. What makes you sore there? Well, what activities? When do you feel it? Standing for long periods. Okay. So she doesn't like sustained movement. She's better when you're moving. So I'm going to pick grade 3s. Just the same as Maitland mobilisation uses, same theory from Maitland neurodynamics. As I said, it's not Butler, it's actually they originally came from. We were all taught by Jeff Maitland, and he started this whole system. So I'm going to pick grade 3s into 50% of resistance. Now, if it's not irritable, how long do you have to stand before it hurts? Long time? Does it take a long time before it hurts? So it's not. It takes a long time. If she said it hurt when it was. If I stood for 2 minutes, I get back pain, and it takes hours to settle. That's what we call very irritable. If she says I stand for 2 hours and then it hurts, it's not irritable. If it's not irritable, I can go strong. I go into a 3+. What's a plus? Can you remember what that was? How much resistance? 75% resistance. And I want to mobilise as close as I can to where her pain is. Now, her pain's in the posterior thigh, so the most powerful treatment for her would be hip flexion or hip adduction. If it was really irritable, if she said at 2 minutes it hurts, I would mobilise the foot a long way away from her area of pain. But because it's not irritable, I'm going to mobilise the thigh. So I am going to wind up the foot to really wind up the nervous system and take her into hip flexion. And you can see she goes to, her head wants to go into extension every time I go up. That's a natural tendency, because another way to sensitise is to upper flex the head. Not flex the head, you may have been taught to flex the head. That doesn't sensitise your nervous system. What does is upper flexion, nodding. So I'm going 1 hertz. I won't go for 90, but I would usually, 90 seconds. It's not a pleasant treatment, is it? Not too bad? You're just tough. Okay, good. Okay, so I've gone 45 seconds. I'd normally go 90. And now we're going to reassess 45 degrees. Tell me when. Look at the change. Again, it shows if you can use your Maitland approach, using your clinical reasoning, picking up your technique, you'll get far more effect than I think any other treatment, bar Mulligan. Mulligan and Maitland give you profound changes. Thank you very much, Saloni. Am I finished, or have I got one more? Have I got time for one more?